All right, so live on a Reaction Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. It goes in the books 23-9 over in Pittsburgh as the Browns drop to 1-5 on the season. It's a tough one to look back on. It was a tough one to watch. You were there in person. Tough one to broadcast as well. There just wasn't much in terms of momentum that the Cleveland Browns were able to generate in any way.
No, and it was very disappointing, obviously. If you are the Cleveland Browns, you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns because it was in many ways more of the same, right? It was a game that you lost in a manner in which you don't want to see this team lose games anymore. Ineffective offense, a special teams blunder that leads directly to points for the opponent, drop passes, penalties, solid defense, solid defense.
That's fine.
But you're just not getting it done, and it's a brand of football that is not all that enjoyable to watch, unfortunately, and it's a brand of football that is not producing the desired outcomes, and that is a big, big problem.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is it's not – if you go back to the summer and you think about how this roster was put together and the way – you and I said this in camp, like you were going to try to win – holding teams in the teens and you scoring high teens or low 20s. You were going to try to monopolize the ball. You were going to try to play very clean football. One of the things they really liked about Kenny Pickett, and one of the reasons that he was here and they went out and got him, is because he was risk adverse. So the idea was we're going to run the ball with all of this bevy of backs that we have, with Quinshon Judkins being the bell cow. We'll play action off of it. Kenny will take care of the ball. We won't turn the ball over, and we'll play great defense, and we'll try to take the air out of the ball, as it were, and massage wins was the idea. And in order for that to happen, though, that's already tough. That's a tough challenge. It's I think I said the phrase, a very difficult needle to thread 1,000 times in August. It was always going to be a very difficult needle to thread. But it's also one that's entirely predicated on you getting a lead and then doing it. And so you have to have that too. You got to at least have one drive where you go get 7, and then you can try to play that way. But we're not able to do that. And so each week, and by the way, this isn't Mean Joe Green. It's not Jack Ham and Lambert, and this isn't that. It's not Harrison. It's not Kevin Green. It's not all the greats that they've had through the years. This defense was in the bottom third in both run and pass defense coming into this game, and we were just unable to get anything going offensively. And it's I don't know where the answers are there. I'm sure Kevin's struggling for them as well.
In the week 4, they sacked Carson Wentz 6 times, which they ended up sacking Dylan Gabriel 6 times. I think they hit him 14, depending on which site you use, 14 to 17 times, which is the most a quarterback has been hit in a single game this year. But Carson Wentz still threw for 350 yards against them.
He did, yeah.
We threw the ball 52 times. 52 times. And then you add in the sacks, you add in some penalties. I mean, we dropped back so many times in this game, it's hard to really get your head around it. And 29 of 52, 221 yards. Didn't turn it over again. That's good. That's probably the big positive that you could say right now. They have not turned the ball over in either of the last 2 games, but this is about winning. Now you're at least eliminating one of the reasons that you were losing games, but the fact that you still can't score, that you've got if we're not the bottom, we're right near it on offense. I mean, we just are not
Us
scary.
In Tennessee, and they just fired their coach.
They did. And I'm pretty sure they were 3-14 last year.
Yeah, we had the same record, right? But they had the
and they were
tiebreaker.
1-5 this year. So they're same trajectory.
Yeah.
We have a better roster than they do.
No doubt.
Not even close.
No,
really.
No, they don't have Quinshon Judkins. They don't have Harold Fannin.
No, but I'm just even
and
from
then
just
defensively,
the whole
it's not
roster
even
is
close.
not even close.
No.
They have Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah,
who's a good player. Calvin Ridley would be a nice player on our team.
Yeah,
but I mean not much. We do not throw the ball down the field. If you people who watch the tape, and I'm sure we'll have Jake on tomorrow to talk about it. But as the game went on, Pittsburgh didn't even care about what was going on down the field.
Yeah, I heard. I saw some of that. I haven't.
They weren't even. They were not even concerned about it. Now, early in the game, there are multiple opportunities to get the ball down the field, and I think Dylan's just so sped up in his process. He is so nervous about getting we're not protecting great. Let's be
No,
fair.
not at all.
But from a clean pocket, we're not operating the way that we need to be operating. You can't average 5 yards a attempt from a clean pocket and be successful in the National Football League. Like, guys, from clean pockets now, it's 80% completions and, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards an attempt because pressure is where it becomes a little more difficult to operate. There are multiple plays where, Isaiah Bond, for example, got deep on a hard play action up the sideline, and we're not throwing it. There's another one where we ran a concept that's a dig from the left, a post from the right. Against a single high look, what you're really reading is that middle safety. If he comes down on the dig, you just throw the post and let your guy go get it. If he stays back on the post, then that means the dig's going to be open, and he should have some room to run out the other side. We ran that. The guy comes down, so you can throw the post. Bond's got a step on him. Just throw it out there, let him run under it, and we throw a check down.
Yeah.
So we're even when the advantage opportunities, and there aren't a ton. It's not like there are big plays to be had all over the field. But when they have been there, even on the opening play, for example, David Njoku ends up uncovered that could have been a big gain. Even when that's happening, we're still not getting the kind of plays or the kind of results that we want, and we're not being aggressive enough. I don't think we're being aggressive enough down the field because this team right now, especially with all the issues on the line, and Conklin goes out in this one, and then Cam Robinson ends up getting hurt as well. But we threw 2 passes of more than 20 yards in the air the entire game. And now for the season, on passes of 10 yards in the air or more with Dylan here, we're 9 of 27. Just 10 yards in the air. 9 of 27.
Yeah, I'm guessing it didn't feel like it was much different with Joe in terms of even taking shots. You and I would come on here when Joe, and we would say, we've got to take some shots down the field a little bit, and we just weren't doing it. And then the other thing is when there were shots, not shots, but when there were passes that weren't checkdowns, there are instances where we're just dropping it.
Yep.
And we had 3 drops again, like all in a very tight time frame. It's like you can't have that. Like if he puts it on your hands, and Harold Fannin was great, but he puts it on his hands on the one that's kind of deep. It's past the sticks, going to be a first down. Glances off the hands. Judy had a bad drop on one of his. Chief had one. Like you just can't have that. And so if you're not willing to throw the ball down the field and put it in harm's way, that's a problem. When you are, if it's glancing off players' hands and stuff, that's a problem. Every single thing right now in the pass game, I don't know that there's a thing you can rely upon as we stand right now. Not the protection, not the catch, and nothing. There's nothing there to hang.
No, and even Harold Fannin, who has a career high 7 catches, 81 yards, both career highs. He had our longest play of the day, the 24-yarder. We didn't have any 30-yard plays in this game. We haven't had a 30-yard pass play since Detroit, which was with Isaiah Bond. He had a huge drop on what was one of Dylan Gabriel's better plays to elude the rush and throw it out there, a perfect ball, and then he drops it. It's just we're not good, and there is a huge list of things. And you watch the run game tape, and it's pretty rare when everybody does what they're supposed to do up front. Mm-hmm. And it takes all 11, in the run game, or at least all 10 if the quarterback's not a part of the run game. Our tackles were getting absolutely overwhelmed by their defense. It was 6 sacks. Jalen Ramsey, I think had played 139 games prior to this one. I think I have this right. 139 games prior to this game. Very good player. Yeah. That's not the point. Yes, he had played 139 games prior to this game. Do you know how many sacks he had in his entire career prior to this game? In 139 games.
I'm going to go at 5.
3, exactly 3.
Was it 3?
And he had 2 in this game.
I mean, that was only because you set it up that way. Otherwise, I probably would have thought maybe he had, 10
And he
or
joked
like
in the
that.
post game. He said, in a game in which T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett were on the field, I had 2 sacks. They combined for a half a sack.
Yeah. Well, and there's just, as it stands, there is nothing to fear because, A, we're not taking shots. B, when we do, they're not working. And so there's nothing beyond 15 yards for you even really to worry about.
We play the whole game in the red zone. I said this after the Minnesota game. It's like we're playing the entire game in the red zone, and something's got to give. Something has got to give. You've got to get this figured out. Now, defensively, no sacks. This is the second time in 3 weeks. No sacks. None in Detroit either.
Yeah.
No takeaways. Now in Detroit, you at least had an interception. It's tough. We're just not making some of those game-changing plays in a positive manner. Cam Thomas runs in the punter. A little bit of a game-changing play right there because it ends up leading to a touchdown.
What is the score at that point? Is it 9? Is it 9-3?
So it is 9-0, 9-3. They go, it's 9-3
at that time.
Then they go on, and they with us getting the ball back in the third quarter,
right,
with a chance to take the lead in theory.
Yep.
And they get the touchdown. It's 16-3. We get the ball. We get a field goal, 16-6. They get the ball back. They go right down the field. That was the Metcalf 25-yarder, 23-6.
Yeah, the Steelers' offense isn't, some sort of lights out approach, but DK Metcalf himself had 3 plays longer than our longest play.
Yes, and
our
then the
longest
opening
play
play
was
of the
25
game was
yards, and they had 3. Metcalf alone had 3 over 25, and then Washington they had that. I think that was 30
the opening play
yards
of the game.
on that on the very
Washington
first play
had 3 catches for 20 yards on the season coming in this game. He had 3 for 62. Hayward had nothing, gets a touchdown. I mean, it was really Metcalf. It was a one-man band, and they were able to go out there and still do exactly what they wanted to do. We held them to 3.6 yards a carry. Yeah, they ran for 100 yards, but we held them to 3.6 yards a carry. That's good. We ran for 3.8 yards a carry. We only ran 17 times, which is tough, but Rodgers was super efficient, 21-30. They got the big plays of Metcalf when they needed him. They should have had another one.
Should have had the other one. He was lamenting that.
And I thought all things considered, Tyson Campbell slipped on that. The turf there was horrific. That field was in unbelievable shape.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe because they only play like high school games.
But that's
there
like the championship. Like is it did Pitt play? No, Pitt played Florida State the day before.
Yeah, our guy Annarella was in Gainesville.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Yeah, he was in
Gainesville. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Tallahassee because they were in Tallahassee, so there was no reason for that thing to look
like that.
like
And the Steelers were on a bye the week before. And they'd been in Ireland the week before that.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's possible.
So
Gerard said the field looked like crap, but he said it actually held like from a shoe standpoint, it was gripping better than he thought it would.
Yeah, that's wild. Like this time of year, early October, no Pitt game the day before, and
they had to have been doing high school football in there on Friday.
Well, they only do. I thought they only did the playoffs there, like their state championships there. I don't know because it's still regular season high school football. I can't imagine you'd let like a high school football team come play on a Friday night 2 days before the Steelers play. That seems crazy to me.
They don't seem to have a problem with it.
I guess not. I know they do it in the playoffs. That seems crazy to do something like that. But either way, there's a lot here, and it's.
I just want to say real quick on that note though, when we were talking about. Campbell had 2 passes defense in this game. He had some really good coverage at times. He got beat, obviously, on the double move at the end. But for the most part, for a guy that just kind of came in here, I thought you saw all the reasons why the Browns liked him. But there were a couple plays that he's got to do a better job on. But he was with DK on a lot of those routes and like with him. There's one that he caught on the sideline. It was very much like the Jefferson over Denzel Ward one. It was perfect coverage, but better throw.
Yeah, I thought he appointed himself quite well, and I think you see the size and the speed and all of the things that you like about him, which gave Jacksonville the reason to draft him. Remember, he played Monday night.
Yes.
Played Monday night for Jacksonville against Kansas City. Flies here, Wednesday night?
Yep.
Trades Wednesday night? Or no, flies Thursday, practices at noon, and then starts against Pittsburgh on Sunday. It's a tight turn.
Landed late morning, had to go do a physical on the field for practice at 1:30.
Yeah, that's a lot. And so I think, the challenge here is going to be, and you're going to hear from Kevin in his Monday press conference here in a second, the challenge for him is how do you get this flipped around? How do you get it to where you can have some wins, some successes? It is so difficult. I remember you and I talking about this years ago, and this is an off-season topic you have, which is how can you create culture amidst losing? How can you create good habits amidst losing? And it's the toughest thing to do in sports.
Yes.
Right? But these guys have been here a long time. There is a way of doing things that they absolutely believe in. And so how do you get back to what successful Browns football has been the roster is what it is at this point, and so they've got to get that figured out in short order. Or this is all, you're 1-5 now, so you can't waste a whole lot of more time for this thing to just really really get out of control.
Yes, no, this is
bless you.
On a good news standpoint, Miami's coming to town, but they're a team also that scored 20 points in 5 straight games. So you're going to have to score. They've been a bad defense statistically, but we've played some teams that have been quote-unquote bad defenses statistically, and we have not been able to get it done.
He scored 27 yesterday against didn't they score 27 against the Chargers?
Yeah.
29-27.
And had them pretty much beat.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert pulled off a crazy play and was able to get it done. Absolutely, it's disappointing, and it feels like it is a difficult road to get out of it. And I think obviously the first step and what we're focusing on, I think, special teams has not been, as we've said this year, it has had its issues throughout the season. But what we really need is to get this offense to a level where it can be a reliable point-scoring offense week in and week out. And right now we're just not that, and we went through it ad nauseum this entire offseason. This is a scoring league. This is an offensive football league. It is too hard with the rules and all of that to play defense the way that you want to play defense and to have that be the one thing that you hang your hat on week in and week out. What's going on out here?
There's a lot of folks here.
What's going on?
Monica there. We got the whole crew.
No, there are luminaries, people in ties.
Oh, I have an idea.
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Are they going to summon them for a walkthrough?
And a serenade?
It feels like it. I'm kind of sad we're not.
Monica's in charge of it. What is?
Yeah. I know. It's B-Day. Yeah.
We know.
We know. Senior Swag 52. Yes, we know.
We know.
It's been documented
It's
on
well
this program.
well
documented.
Is this a serenade?
Yeah. Oh, okay. A little cake, little festivities. Guy's running a business.
There's a positive. The guy's
running
a business.
It's his birthday. It's a beautiful thing. Senior Swag, the great luminary, the great leader. I
just want a piece of cake, man. I'm starving over here.
I think we're going to
get the nachos, Gibby.
I think we're getting a full walk-in.
I took a pic. I just didn't send it. I didn't think yesterday was the appropriate time to do that.
Slow head nod.
So here's what the nachos are, okay?
They deliver.
They open a bag of Tostitos Gold Rounds.
Well, that's
perfect.
It's a great chip. It's a great chip.
So
we had them in
those in there.
Tostitos.
They have. Please!
Oh my gosh, the tie too.
Look at them.
Holy cow!
A little
bit more.
Something. A little something. He's cupping the ear.
What a time!
Oh man, we're gonna get like a serenade.
I needed that.
Can you hear us? Hold on.
On a Monday.
Oh yeah, we are. To you. Happy birthday, dear Jenks. Yes. Happy birthday to you. Yes. Bravo.
Champion of the people.
That is
I
a
needed
beautiful
that
thing.
on a Monday.
Yeah, no, that really turned the day around.
It makes me feel better.
That turned the day around bigly.
That's nice.
That is fantastic. We're like, what's going on here? Some words of inspiration, perhaps.
Nachos.
So you
Tostitos
get that.
Gold Rounds.
Then they open up.
It's a lovely chip.
They're going to open. I'm going to call it a handle.
Okay.
A handle of the Tostitos mild salsa.
Okay.
They're going to dump that into a little canister, a little silver tray.
Yep.
Behind that, they're going to dump a handle of the cheese that has been heated up somewhere.
Oh, like the queso.
Yeah,
like
the queso. Just the yellow.
Nacho cheese.
Yeah,
nacho cheese. Yeah.
There's some fresh cut jalapenos, which is the nicest part of the whole endeavor. And then you're going to get what I would describe as a very watery, very scary, if you know that you have to be on air, chili type of a situation.
Oh,
I'm not going to call it a.
That's
full
too big of
chili.
too big of a risk.
Yeah,
I will tell you, in any stadium on game day, I avoid a chili.
In tight quarters.
There's no bathroom for me for like 3 hours.
Yeah, you're not. You got it.
There is a luminary in the TV industry.
Yeah.
He shall remain nameless. That has an infatuation with Skyline.
And
he's a big luminary.
Eat it by the bowl. Like
really?
Before broadcast. Like has his own setup in the TV booth.
Doesn't surprise me he's got an
Walk
iron
in,
stomach.
he goes, Jason, help yourself. No, I'm good.
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
We're not going down that road. There was some sour cream there. Hey, by the way, you got a little plate full yesterday.
It's a full nacho bar.
It's a nacho bar.
Hold on.
It's a
What, did
nacho
I,
bar.
what
Hey.
was on my plate?
Hey,
What was on my just no, let's just deal with facts. What was on my
Can
plate?
I guess?
Yeah.
I would say that you had the chips.
Yep.
I would say the jalapenos.
Yep.
I would say the salsa.
Yep.
Was there a guac?
no guac.
No guac. No. Did
That would've
I say
helped.
anything about what I said? Opening up a Tostitos Gold Rounds.
Well,
a
doesn't
handle of
Tostitos gotta make a
salsa.
guac too?
I don't believe they do.
All right. So I think that's it then, because you're not going to do a crema. A nacho cheese I could see using very sparingly, just very sparingly, not much.
No,
though.
I went and got chips and salsa, and I threw a couple fresh
Couple
jalapenos on
jalapenos.
it.
So I nailed
Yeah,
it. I
yes,
had it.
Of course
Yeah.
you had it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not having nachos.
Just for the record, probably the best thing on their food spread the entire day.
The beef wasn't bad, dude. They had like a prime rib carving station. This guy did something that I've never seen in my
He
life, and I hope I
butchered
never
it.
see it again. So they bring out a prime
Should've
rib
talked about
probably
this with
this
Hall.
long.
Okay.
So probably like a 5,
Big boy.
maybe a 6 boner.
Yeah. Prime rib.
This dude. So it's again. So imagine
You're talking
this
about
would
the
be,
guy running the prime rib
yeah,
board.
So like if my phone is the prime rib roast, this is the direction
You're
it
watching
goes.
on the YouTube. Z
You
is holding up his
slice
phone.
like this.
Yeah.
He gets
Vertically.
the thing and cleaves it right down the middle, right out of the gate, and has him take half of it away.
What?
And then he starts cutting these little half. I'm like, brother, what
What
is
are
going-
you
Nathan and
doing?
I sat there and just stood off to the side like, what in the bloody hell are you
I was
doing?
dumb, dude. Never seen anything like it in my entire life.
I've
And I
never seen
remember
that
we're
either.
in Pittsburgh and it all made sense.
It's a big waste of meat, is what that is.
Well, and you're
Just
cutting
a
it.
Absurd way to cut it.
It doesn't even make sense.
No, I've never seen. I know. I don't know. anything
And
about
if you think about it from a ribeye standpoint, now you're cutting like you slice it this way, and then you get some cap. You get the
Yeah, the whole bit.
Well, that's just what it's supposed to look like. And he cuts it this way, so like I don't even know. Half of it would be, I guess, cap with a little inside, and he took that away. Which, by the way, a lot of people might say
That's
that's
the best
the best
part.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was stupefying, dude.
That ain't it. That ain't it at all. We should give some flowers to Andre Schmidt, who is 3 of 3 on field goals, 31, 32, and a 53-yarder. He's been great after the first week. You never know with guys at that position, and he's been really reliable. So good job out of him.
That's good. It's good that we seem, we got a little bit of somewhat of an answer there, and that's fantastic. And we'll hopefully to get more of it.
Yeah. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospital, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We will head to the podium. Kevin Stefanski's Monday press conference coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. This season, check the Browns social channels daily to play our digital scratch-off game for your chance to win club seats and other great prizes presented by the Ohio Lottery, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats, purchase your official fan experience package today. For the ultimate game day, here's your head coach, Kevin Stefanski.
I don't really have any injury up
Goes down 15 minutes.
last night. Obviously, watch the tape this morning and watching it now with the players, and ton of areas that we just need to be better and need to be better in all aspects: offense, defense, special teams, players, coaches, you name it. We have to be better. That'll be our focus. That's what we'll focus on moving forward, so we can go play as a football team and find a way to win. And obviously got a big one this week with Miami coming to town. That'll be our sole focus today. With that, I'll take any questions.
Hey, Kevin, does it feel like just nothing is coming easy on offense? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, but we have to do it, Scott. It's a matter of coaches putting guys in position to make plays, guys making plays when they're put in position, doing their job. Don't expect anything to come easy. That's not the name of the game in this sport, but we'll just keep grinding on it.
In search of fixing things or a spark, you were asked about play calling yesterday. Have you made a decision there?
Yeah, I'm going to keep calling plays, but I want to stress that this is we have to get better in so many areas, and that includes coaching. That includes our how we teach our guys, how we put them in different formations, the ways you run the ball, ways you pass the ball, all of the above.
Yeah, Kevin. I mean, arguably in the first few games he's played, Quinshon Judkins has been your best threat and passing game, as well as in the running game. Obviously, can you explain why he only touched the ball 12 times, especially none in the passing game?
Yeah, obviously that game, if you look at the fourth quarter, the number of plays that we had in that game, being down 3 scores, precluded us from running, our normal base down offense, Fred. But he's obviously a key part of our offense.
And what about, first and goal on the 3 there late? He didn't touch the ball. I mean, is there any reason for that?
No, we need to be better. Whether we throw it or pass it there, in those situations, we have to be better.
Yeah, Kevin, I know you said you didn't have any injury updates per se specific, but Jack and Cam, those are your 2 starting tackles. Do you feel confident that you might have one or both of them, or how do you sort of approach it when there is sort of that much uncertainty about both those spots?
Yeah, with both guys, they're obviously dealing with different injuries, if you will. So it's Monday. I think we need to get through the next couple of days before we can really answer that. And it's like anything else. There's uncertainty, but that's part of the game.
And another question about the penalties. The last couple of weeks have been. What can you do during the course of the week? To alleviate that. To I know you're not coaching penalties, but at the same time, how do you fix that specific area?
Yeah, we focus hard on those avoidable penalties, which are the pre-snap penalties. Obviously, we had an illegal formation there in the game. We have to be better in those areas, and then you have to play with clean technique. That's always going to be a part of this as well. Understanding that your hand placement, how you do your job is very important.
Okay, I know the score got out of hand in the fourth quarter, but even in the first half, you were throwing the ball much more than you were running the ball. And given it was his second career start in a place that's very difficult to play, would you redo the game plan on second thought? Because it seemed like you were still in the game 9-3 and you were throwing a lot.
Yeah, I would tell you every game is its own thing, Tony, where you're trying to take advantage of the looks that the defense is giving you. I don't think it's any secret that Quinshon's a big part of our offense, will always be a big part of our offense, but so much of it is based on what's going on in that particular game.
And it looked like Aaron Rodgers played a large part of the game behind a 6th offensive lineman. And you did some of that, but do you think you just need to do more jumbo just to stabilize things on offense?
I think, we did a decent amount of it yesterday, Tony. Again, I think it's based on sometimes health and what the bodies are that you can use in those areas. But that's really game plan specific.
Yeah, Kevin, in a situation like this, of course, everybody's going to look to the quarterback after, only 9 points are scored and how the quarterback did. Can you just address, and especially because of your situation with Shador and so many people clamoring for him and wanting to see him, do you have thoughts on how the offensive problems are run much deeper right now than quarterback, and that switching out the quarterback might not solve what you have going on here?
Yeah, I think just the big focus for us, Mary Kay, is we have to be better in all areas, players, coaches, you name it. Obviously, Dylan is in his second start, some good things to build off of. He's learning just like all young players are learning for us right now. And we'll continue to try to, get him to make those improvements that young players make and also play better around him. That's our focus.
Yeah, Kevin, wanted to ask you about the downfield passing again, as far as, explosive plays go. Do you feel like with 2 starts under Dylan's belt here that it's going to be easier for you or more comfortable for you to take some shots down the field and try and open up this offense?
Well, I think certainly, Daryl, we have to find ways to be explosive on offense, and that can come via the run or the pass. And, explosive pass can happen in a variety of different ways, but it really comes down to our ability as an offense to, put those guys in position, protect the quarterback, and then when those opportunities come, we got to let it rip. But I think that can come in a variety of ways.
And then Mike Tomlin had some comments today, landed on social media, in which he basically said he doesn't understand why the Browns traded their opening day starter and Joe Flacco to a division rival in the Bengals, and just how surprised by that move going into the Steelers game he was. Your thoughts on what he had to say about that, and the fact that he was so taken aback, just like you acknowledged last week, you were a little surprised as well and not anticipating that you guys would trade Joe this season.
Yeah, I don't have a comment on that, Daryl.
Kevin, just for him coming in for a couple practices and everything, how did you think Tyson Campbell did?
Yeah, I thought he battled. Obviously, there's some plays he wants back, but I thought, with the circumstances and him out there competing, I thought there were some really good moments and things that we will certainly clean up with him.
And then just in terms of you and the play calling, what would be the decision or maybe the point where you would decide to give it up?
Yeah, I think for us, the focus is on being better as an offense, Joe, and that goes into a bunch of different areas. And I know I can be better for this football team. I know I can certainly be better for this offense. But our focus is on making sure that we all do our part in getting this thing going.
Hey, Kevin. In the past couple of weeks, you talked about how important your players' development is to you, especially at the quarterback position. And you've also acknowledged that the issues with the offense don't solely lie with the quarterback. Now, I know Joe is gone, so it's a bit of a moot point, but what about this infrastructure in the offense led you to believe that, putting in a rookie quarterback will lead to success and, positive development and growth in that player?
Yeah, we trust our guys, Daniel, that are out there across the board. We just have to all be better. That'll be our focus.
Hey, Kevin, I know you're focused on cleaning those things up, being better as a team. When you look at the makeup of this team, of your coaching staff across the board, what is it about this team that gives you the confidence that you will be able to successfully clean things up to be better each week?
Yeah, I believe in the people we have, Cam. I believe in the coaches. I believe in the players. I also believe we have a ton of room to improve. None of us love the where we are, your record, all those things, but we own it. We have to own it. We have to. I can acknowledge that you don't feel good about it, but that's who we are, and all we can do is affect that moving forward. We can't really worry about what's in the past.
Joel Bitonio last night said that, he sees when things are working, the potential, the vision. Quinchon said that too, but Joel said every game the offense is struggling, there's like 10 to 15 plays where there's a missed block or a penalty. Is that Is that a shared belief that those things can directly lead to what you're looking to achieve?
Obviously, the goal offensively is to contribute, to score points, to help this football team. We got to focus on all the little things that go about that, but it doesn't get too far away from just simply doing your job, doing what's asked of you. And I'm talking all of us, players, coaches, you name it.
Yeah, sorry about that. My cat walked across my keyboard.
Sounds very believable, Jeff.
Yeah. So, Kevin, my question is, after every one of these, you say, well, we have to fix it. How do you do that with so many inexperienced receivers after Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, I understand the question, Jeff, but I trust the guys we have. And when I say fix it, we just have to perform better. And that's how we teach it, how we coach it, getting it out of our players throughout the week so they feel confident doing it on Sunday. It's pretty simple. We got to just do our job, play hard, play smart.
But do you see improvements? It doesn't look like it from the outside. There's things you see that you are progressing, even though it might not show up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, obviously we want it to show up on the scoreboard. That's where the true improvement will come. But we will just focus on what we can control with all of our players, young or old, and that's making sure we utilize this week to find ways to improve.
Kevin, you always talk about the precision in the passing game and how vitally important that is for you guys. And I know it's a two-way street between where the receivers are on their routes and all those kinds of things. But particularly as I was looking, at red zone passes, and it just seemed like there were drops, tips, knockaways, dropped interceptions. It just seemed like once you guys got around down into the red zone and trying to throw into the goal line, that I'm thinking specifically of like the wide one to Jerry Jeudy. Is that because Dylan was under so much duress in those types of situations, or is he having an accuracy issue per se, in the red zone or, end zone type of throws? And if so, what can you do about that?
Yeah, I think the red zone, obviously, Mary Kay, you go 0 for 3, you're making life hard on yourself, and you have to come away with touchdowns there. Obviously, ran out of time, so to speak, there at the end of the first half. So the ball had to be end zone or out of bounds. It limits you in what you can do, of course. And then a couple times down there later in the third and fourth quarter, we have to execute. We have to do, and I'm talking quarterback, running back, wide receiver, you name it. We all have to be at our best in those moments when the field shrinks. We had too many mistakes there that are going to hold you back. And that's a little bit of what I mentioned before, where we have to be better as coaches. We have to be better as players so that we can make sure we're all just doing our job in those moments.
So you feel like you saw enough from Dylan throughout the football game that those things will be correctable for him, and that moving forward with him and just getting some of those things taken care of will do the trick?
Yeah, the quarterback position gets a lot of scrutiny, and we understand that. But we collectively have to be better. There are things that we're doing that are good, things that we have to build off of, and there's things that we have to get better at. But it's never going to be about one person.
Hey, Kevin, do you understand and how do you handle the frustration of Miles and some of the other defensive guys with the offense not supporting the defense?
Yeah, we all share in the frustration, Scott, when you don't come away with the results that you work really hard for. That's obvious. It's the greatest team game there is. We all need each other, players, coaches, offense, defense, special teams. We need each other to go perform it and find a way to win. That's how it goes.
Has there been a conversation there, like, hang with us, try to stay up? And, I know that they know you're trying hard, but when Miles expresses that frustration, it feels like it's getting to him.
Yeah, losing is not fun for anybody, Scott. I think there's natural frustration that comes with that, and that's us as a football team. We own it. We can't hide from that. You have to acknowledge where we are. Having said that, all that matters is what we do moving forward.
2 questions about looking for the ball. Did Isaiah Bond have an explanation as to what the heck was going on at the goal line when the ball hit him in the helmet?
Yeah, obviously miscommunication there. And again, that's our job to get it cleaned up.
And Tyson Campbell also had a great coverage, but not looking at the ball. Is that obviously a coaching point this week? But is that in his past, in his scouting report? Do you see that?
Yeah, I think that's, obviously we're now getting Tyson. We'll coach him up. He's in great position. Now it's a matter of making a couple of those plays, but really pleased with where he is, and he will only get better with Jim, with Brandon Lynch, with our coaches as we get him playing in this scheme.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there you go, Coach, from the podium. Now's your chance to be inches away from your favorite players. They take on some big-time opponents this season. Field seats, Huntington Bank Field, put you up close and personal with the thrill of the game. Limited quantities are available, so get them soon before they're gone. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/field seats to secure your spot now. We'll go around the league. Obviously, a very busy Monday around the league. We will get you updated on all the news and notes you need coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. A busy Monday around the league. The Titans have fired their head coach, Brian Callahan. This is Cam Ward's rookie year. They just had won last week in pretty miraculous fashion at Arizona. This week, though, they were out in Vegas and lost. What do you make of that firing?
there have kind of been rumblings about it, so I guess I'm not that surprised. They have struggled. They're 4-19. Their young quarterback, I think it doesn't look like whatever they're trying to do with Cam Ward is working right now, and I think that's probably the goal, is to try to figure it out. I just think they thought about it last year after year one. If you're going to do that, you got to get somebody that you think is exactly perfect for that quarterback. And now maybe they did. Brian Callahan had come, where he was offensive coordinator with Cincinnati. I don't know. I'm not surprised, because I know from talking to my good friend and one-time former adversary, Jeff Jarrett, we talk football all the time now, that it has been a revolt in that city against the organization, and so I think they felt maybe they had to do something there to get it turned around.
Isn't Vrabes there this week, or is that next?
Vrabes is there this week. Yes.
Yeah. So that's not great. With him coming to town either, that's a tough look. Here's the thing I don't understand. This is now Lawrence, Young, Williams, Ward, 4 quarterbacks who were taken number 1 overall. All of their head coaches have been fired in season. If you're going to draft a quarterback at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, if you do not absolutely know that your head coach is on board with that quarterback, and that whatever system he's running will work for that quarterback, then you move off the head coach. It's too big. It's too important of a decision. Every single one of these guys starts to their career has been retarded by the fact that they've had to fire coaches and learn multiple systems. Caleb Williams is going to play tonight in Washington. It looks like he turned the corner a little bit, but it damn near broke him. Almost broke Trevor year one and I don't know if he still is all the way to what I think he was capable of, but with what happened with Urban in year one there. And then the other thing, and this is probably most similar to the Bryce Young, the Cam Ward Bryce Young comparison. If you draft a quarterback number 1, you have to have some weaponry. You have to be able to protect them. And Bryce Young finally has weaponry, and they're having some success because they got McMillan out of Arizona, who we loved in the process. Big-time weapon. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. So finally they're showing some that was a big win for them yesterday, beating Dallas.
Rico Dowdle is playing out of his mind.
They got him off the scrap heap, and he's playing out of his mind. Almost 400 yards the last 2 weeks.
1,000 yards last year for Dallas. Dallas let him go. Now they brought in Javonte Williams, who's been very good.
He has, but it's strange. So it's just there is so much to development of the quarterback position. Some of it is on them and their individual talent. So much of it is on the coaching staff seeing eye to eye to what the quarterback can do well. It's organizational support in terms of the talent around. Is your offensive line in order? Do you have weapons? Like all of those things. And if you have any doubt in any of it, just pull the trigger before it happens.
We'll go back to 2018 with the Browns.
Yeah, with 6.
It happens with him, middle of the season. So if you remember with Bake here, it was Hugh with Haley, then it was Freddie, and then it was Kevin in 2020. So he had his first 3 years in the league, 3 different offensive systems. Sam Darnold with the Jets. Now Todd Bowles finished out his rookie season, but then next year it's a new coach, and they've got to go and get, he's got to kind of start all over again there as well. And those are 2 guys that now seem to have settled in and look pretty darn good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really good. So there is definitely something to it. Continuity for continuity's sake is not good, but at the same time, I think you're exactly right. You met Chicago with, obviously, with the Eberflus. You've got to have the guy that you want there to be exactly what you want it to be. Like that just, to me, makes all the sense in the world. So if you remember, Sam Darnold goes Bowles. Then they bring in Adam Gase, who was, supposedly
QB whisperer.
QB whisperer. He goes 7-6 as a starter. It's Gase again the next year. Darnold goes 2-10, and then in 2021, it's Saleh's first year, and Darnold's gone.
He's gone. And then Carolina got rid of both of them.
Carolina had
them both
in 2022.
Cut them both.
Yes, in 2022 they had them both.
Yeah. And if you're watching the late afternoon window yesterday and you're seeing Sam Darnold throw rainbows to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you go, well, that looks pretty good. And you see Bake make the throw to a 6th-round, and you go, well, that looks pretty good. But there's a million factors that lead to this.
Yes.
That lead to bringing a quarterback along. And I don't care how good a quarterback is. there's only so much they can overcome.
Yep.
You have to put them in position. You have to have everybody organizationally on the same page. And so now for Cam, obviously they're bad again. They're going to make the coaching change, and then they'll have another quarterback in there another head coach in there next year. And that coach has got to be – the only chance that Cam Ward has to survive this is if the next coaching hire, it's got to be perfect.
It's got to be – yep.
That's it. And that's going to be it. And so that's the challenge of all of these things is figuring all of it out.
Here's my question for you.
Hello, Gibbon.
Hi.
By the way.
Yeah.
Eddie, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Isaac Izumba.
How cool was that? They're down 21, right?
Yeah, 21-0.
21-0 to Toledo, the rivalry game.
The game.
And his first year at BG. Come on.
Sold out the Doit. Like 25,000.
Awesome. That's great.
Well done by the student body and by the university.
Yeah, he's great.
Eddie with a big comeback win.
Yep.
They needed that. They've had trouble scoring points, but they got into the 20s.
Yeah, but that's a moment for him now.
Yeah. There you go.
Go ahead.
No, huge win. Huge win for them. And that's now the question is, like, if he really turns it around, how long will he be there?
Oh, he won't be there long if he has an ambition to start upward mobility, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So
you were saying before I interrupted you with the BG.
You have to start one this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you starting Drake May, Danny Dimes, or Sam Darnold? Because Sam Darnold's numbers are I had no idea how well he was playing this year.
He is
I knew he was playing well, but
this is now he's into his second year of this. Like he was great last year in Minnesota, and now he's great here. And yeah, he is so comfortable. And remember, they got rid of Metcalf, and you're like, well, boy, why wouldn't you want Metcalf and Jackson Smith-Njigba? They're fine. They're fine. They're a really good football team.
I love their coach. They're well coached.
He's doing a great job.
Total quarterback EPA through week 6, Sunday Night Football, so through last night's game in the NFL. Who are the quarterbacks you gave us?
Drake May.
Yep.
Danny Dimes.
Yep.
Sam Darnold.
Okay. Number 2 is Drake May, plus 74.4. Number 3 is Sam Darnold, plus 64.9. Number 4 is Danny Dimes, plus 57.8. Rounding out the top 10 are Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Who was number 1?
Goff 1?
No, Goff is 5. Goes May, Darnold, Jones, Goff, Love, Mayfield, Stafford, Allen, Mahomes. That's 10. 11, Lamar Jackson. 12, Aaron Rodgers.
Who's 1?
Number 1 is Dak Prescott, plus 76.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't – I mean, what he has to score 30 every week, and he does, without CeeDee Lamb, by the way.
Yeah.
Last 41st is Cam Ward, negative 56.9.
It's a tough watch. I mean, that's pretty bad because, Geno throws it to the other team constantly.
Geno Smith is negative 8.2. Of the, Jackson Dart's negative, Bryce Young's negative, Geno Smith negative, Dylan is negative 9.7, Justin Fields negative 12.5, Cooper Rush negative 18.8, J.J. McCarthy, I need this only a couple of games, negative 22.6, Jake Browning negative 28.8, Joe Flacco negative 47.3, Cam Ward negative 56.9.
There you go.
So you've got
to answer your question, I got to win one game with one of those 3.
This Sunday.
I'm going with Sam Darnold.
I think I would too. That was where I was leading to. But if you
I go
wait,
Darnold, May, Jones.
If you wait 4 weeks and Drake May keeps doing this, then you're going to have a different thought. He is. Yeah, he is a stud.
He is a stud.
He's an absolute stud. That draft is looking pretty good right now because Caleb got it turned around.
Jaden.
Now that he's been stabilized and all of that. Jaden was unbelievable last year, banged up a little bit this year, but they play each other tonight. That's a fun game, by the way. And then what Drake May is doing, they don't have a whole lot of weapons. Like he rejuvenated Diggs.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy how he got it flipped. They look great, by the way, in the all-whites. I've never seen the Patriots do that before with white tops, white pants. It was a really strong look for them down there.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but all those – yeah, there's something, that's, with Danny Dimes and Darnold and Bake, among others, but, those 3 are the kind of the top of mind. There's a quarterback reclamation thing that's happening. where how did this happen? We know how it happened here because we lived it, but like how does a team like Carolina have two of those guys on their roster? Anybody in the league could have had Danny Dimes last year, right? Because didn't he practice squad? No, during the season. Wasn't he on the Vikings practice squad?
Yes.
I think he was.
He was. They picked him up after he got cut.
Yeah, I think he was on the Vikings. After the season, anybody could have had him. But last year, after he was cut by the Giants, I think he went to Minnesota's practice squad.
He was.
All right.
I think so.
He spent some time. He was signed to the practice squad in late November and was added to the active roster on January 7th.
Yeah.
But even in that case, yes, anybody could have had him, but you wouldn't have had it. He'd be a free agent at the end of the year anyway.
Sure, but you
could have had
anyone
him.
in the league could have had him.
Yes.
Like and anybody in the league could have had Darnold or Baker.
Now,
anybody.
Here's the thing, Danny Dimes, you heard it on this program, we were very interested in him, but he got priced out. So there was obviously more of a market for him after the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Legal if you can sneak one in.
I should tell you that you're listening to WKNR 850 ESPN Cleveland, a good Karma brand station.
He's still pretty darn good. Now, you could have signed them off of their practice squad to your 53. He has to agree to that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that certainly could have happened around the league. But I think, did you guys see his interview? Man, who was it with? Dane Jones' interview. I just came across this in the last couple of days. This is it. What interview is it? He was talking about just the impact. Oh, it's Against All Odds with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Andrew Whitworth. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
And he talks about how he said he never took the field for the quarterback for the Vikings during a short stint. There's no question Kevin O'Connell left a lasting impression. He said, going to Minnesota, I saw how Sam prepared, how Kevin prepared, those guys, Josh McCown, Grant Udinsky, that crew, and how detailed they were day in and day out on every little bit of the plan, how they were going to study it, what they're looking for, walking through, quizzing each other. That made a big impression on me. I was like, this is maybe the next level of some of that stuff. I think that changed it. I think Kevin and how aggressive was on play calling, a lot of drop-back shots, taking their chance. That made an impression on me too.
Yeah. It all worked. I mean, it worked for even look at Kyle with Mac. I know he threw a bad pick yesterday,
but when you're talking, that's what I'm saying. Like where you see guys come from situations where coaching matters in this league a great deal, and there are certain people that are big elevators. But sometimes if you go into a place where you don't necessarily have a veteran role model or you don't have a quarterback coach who does it, this way, you never learn to study that way.
No.
And you look at what Sam Darnold goes to Minnesota. Now, where was he before that? Kyle. So he goes from Kyle as a backup, gets indoctrinated and all that, goes to Minnesota, blows up. Now he's flying high in Seattle with Clint Kubiak as the play caller, who I think is going to be a hot head coach name in the next coaching cycle in the NFL. That stuff all makes a big, big difference for some of these guys that were agreed upon good talents.
It was none of them. They're all top of first-round picks.
Right.
Jones, Darnold, Bake, Mac Jones, they all were.
Yep.
They're all high first-round picks. I mean, yeah, that's the talent was there. A couple of the real quick ones. Mike Gesicki is going to be out a while on the injury front down in Cincinnati. Short week for them. They have the Steelers on Thursday. This one stinks. Emeka Egbuka scheduled to undergo testing Tuesday to determine how much time he'll miss with the hamstring he suffered, but he's expected to be out a while, and he was having an otherworldly
I think they said
year.
it's the hope was that it was not as severe as the Mike Evans one.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yep.
That would be better than certainly what you're hoping for.
Za'Darius Smith retired from the NFL. He had signed with the Eagles just a few weeks ago. He was here a couple years ago and was great when he was here. Played last year in Detroit. And then the Chiefs get Rashee Rice back. His 6-game suspension is over. He's eligible to play Sunday. So they get Rashee Rice back. They come off a win against Detroit where that whole game came down to the middle four.
Yep.
Because they both were great. Came down, or the middle eight rather. And so now they get him back. So away you go on that. And we will, by the way, do one thought around the league tomorrow.
And just a little bit of news that is not around the league, but it is very much related to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb and Browns owner Jimmy Haslam are holding a news conference at 4:30 today at City Hall to provide, quote, an update on stadium negotiations, end quote.
It's noteworthy.
And that'll happen during our program.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll get you have that to look forward to, which is nice. All right, you're listening to second hour of the program coming up next. Included in this, the Joe Thomas half hour of the program. Joe's thoughts on everything that happened on Sunday over in Pittsburgh. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Head to Myers, scan the Hillshire Farms QR code in the meat department until November 11th for a chance to win a suite for 10 to the Steelers game on December 28th. How about, for the loyal listeners, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it's possible one of our great pieces of points of grief that we've had in the last 18 months or so could at least be getting potentially a little reprieve.
Well,
we'll
just
see.
for us.
I hate to even say it out loud.
We need to bring it back for everybody.
Well, one step at a time.
Listen.
One step at a time. Let's see if we can make things happen here. Does Gibbe know? Did you tell him?
No.
I'll tell him in a break. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on my. When did you say that?
That's all right. It's in line for today and not knowing things.
No, I think this was. Sent
Anyone
to me
else
on the
want to
ride
drop
home.
anything in
Wasn't
my
this on
lap
the ride
today
home?
that I didn't know about?
Wasn't this on the ride home?
Could
We
have
talked
been.
about it.
No. It was during. I think it might have been halftime where I got wind of it.
Okay.
I think it was at halftime when I was texting you, and I got wind that it could be. So we'll see if that can happen. It'd be a major victory, my friend. Major victory. I don't even know where we are. I know
we got scores, and then we're done. Well, we're not done.
We're not done. The Hoff's
Joe
coming.
Thomas
The Hoff's
half
coming
hour.
up here in about 9 minutes, something like that.
Yes.
All right. Where are you guys with the split start Monday nighters?
Love it. I
think it's coming
love
next
it.
week too.
So we got 2 weeks in a row.
I
the
love
Stager
it.
start Monday nighters.
Yeah.
I would do you prefer that or the 6, 9, 15 starts?
6 and 9:15 would be good, but I think it's usually 7 and 10.
It's usually
and I
that.
don't. That game doesn't exist.
Well,
for me.
now in Luca world, you're never going to see a 10 o'clock
No.
start. That's over. You're
It's
done.
great
for a long
though. So
time,
now,
world champion.
Miss K, because I'm like, I just can't go to bed that early. That's just not my. Like, I can't. So
Well, what are you doing now? Like, what are you trying to get to?
like, I like to be up until like 11.
Yeah, that's I am. I'm 11 and then up at 6. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
7. You need 7.
So Miss K though is like by 10 now. She
Oh,
wants to
she's-
be- she's like
She's like my dad.
well, especially if it's like yesterday, for example, because I was gone all day, so she had Luca all day. That's a full day. So
Full
she was
day.
yeah. So she was very tired. So she has now these this eye mask that she'll wear to try to block out the TV, and I just look. It makes me laugh.
What are you doing, honey? She's going to get once there will come a point, and I think you're going to settle into the 11 to 7, 11 to 6. world,
11
I
to
think.
7, I think, is a perfect world.
Well, that's ideal. I'd kill for that. I'm to the point now. You and I talked about this off air.
Yeah, but you
last week,
probably
I
would
just
be able.
can't.
I think you'd be able to do that if you didn't have your program.
Well, I don't know if I can or not, but I just know that even on weekends now, it's 6:25.
I wake up
and I'm
in the
up.
6s kind of naturally now, which
I
is
just pop up and I'm like,
absurd.
okay.
It used to be a solid, 12 to 8 was a great. That was a great way to be living.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is the world. This is it, buddy. That's
You know
where
you're
we're at.
getting old though when it's like 9:35 or 9:45. You're like, oh, I get to go get in bed. Like you're like,
Go.
yeah,
just slide in for a
go
nice
slide
sleep.
in for a little bit. Watch my program, and then watch the game in bed.
We also have to give credit to College Football Nate. You nailed the James Franklin
Weeks ago.
Hold
on,
yeah.
there are two things that College Football Nate has been adamant about this year for
Yeah.
weeks. Number one is that the Buckeyes are the best team in the country. Before it was kind of being generally
Yeah, now
regarded.
it's- yeah.
Now it's that's the gospel, and that James Franklin was a fraudster and he needed to go. And I didn't think it was going to happen in season, but he gone.
They found $50 million. Is what it took.
$50 million. So yeah,
That's his buyout.
I saw Dan Patrick be like, "So was it a bad day for James Franklin? Now he gets $50 million to do nothing."
He does. I think it was still probably a bad day for him, but yeah, that's the world you're living in college football now. Those huge buyouts. So it's going to
If I
cost him
got
$50
bought
million to
out-
pay him out. It's going to cost $75 at least to hire the new guy on a 7-year deal. So $10 a year for that for the new guy. Plus they have a $700 million stadium renovation that they're in the middle of, and they're paying NIL for their rosters.
I'll tell you what. If I was him, I'd be like, buddy, give me the top 2 country clubs you've always wanted to join. Where are you buying your dream house? And
The
let's
end.
go. The end. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
it.
We have Monday Night Football
We got
scores,
scores.
and I've got less than 60
Just
seconds.
saying,
here.
all
I
right.
thought you had 42. I thought you had me at 22 here, Gibbe.
Yeah, well, remember I
Thanks.
said during the commercial break we
Oh,
had
I
the
don't listen to you in the
stat.
breaks. I'm
I'm
sorry.
aware of this.
I listened to
we
you.
need to
Gibby.
be out like ASAP.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, game number
Hoff's
one.
coming.
Bills at Falcons, gutless Falcons, Bills coming off of that Sunday night loss to the Patriots, Bo Bishop.
Listen to Z on all of these. He's got it figured out. I've had a couple of bad weeks back-to-back in the NFL, so he's got a better feel on this. I just think Falcons play well at home. I can see Buffalo winning this game by in a very, very tight score, but it wouldn't surprise me if Atlanta did either. So I'm going to go
done with the Falcons.
24-21 Bills.
About done with the Falcons on primetime game.
Bills coming off of a loss.
They are.
Yeah, this is a get-right game. They're going to get right. They're going to get right bigly. Bills 31, Falcons 21.
There you go. Listen to Z, not me.
The late one with the
I'm having a tough
Monday night crew, Buck Aikman, Salters, Bears at Commies, a rematch of the Hail Mary game from a year ago, Zagaro.
No McLaurin. Debo's banged up. I think that Washington is going to win the game, but I don't think that they're the more explosive team. This could also be Washington up 12 late.
Yeah.
There he is. By the way, it turned out you couldn't see Kyler at the back door because he was so short, but then it was
not him. It was Jacoby Brissett.
You could have seen him there. Bootsy
Should have saw him,
could have seen him. He's like a good 6'5". He's a good 6'5". I think the Bears get inside the number here.
Bears too. Yep. Same.
Bears. So Commies probably something like this feels like a 27-24.
Yeah, something like that. I'm with you on that one. I like the Bears as well in that scenario with the Commies on a very, very narrow victory. The Joe Thomas half hour of the program's coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And welcome back into the Joe Thomas half hour of the program here on Cleveland Browns Daily. The great Hoff is here. Look, this is a tough one. It's a tough one, Hoff. As you're taking this one in on a Sunday, where is most of your frustration as now a Browns fan and analyst?
Well, it's split between the Badgers and the Browns at this moment because the Browns, although they broke my heart on Sunday against the Steelers, I didn't see it coming quite as much as what happened when the Badgers got smashed on homecoming against Iowa. So that hurt. But I think where I'd probably direct most of my ire is just how on offense we're so inept. Like, I realize we have a rookie quarterback, but we should be able to get some more points than we are right now because we've got some good players. We have professionals out there. We've got some solid pieces on the offensive line. We got weapons at tight end. Like, we need to be able to just move the ball more down the field specifically. We need to be able to get some shots into the middle of the field, more than 10 yards to stretch out a defense and score more points. Football is hard. There's no doubt. Pro football is very hard, but we're making it look harder than it should be because we're just not scoring points. We're not efficient. We're not fun on offense. And I think that's the frustration probably for a lot of Browns fans. Like, we knew mostly we probably weren't going to win the Super Bowl going into the season, but we thought we'd be able to have a little bit of fun along the way. We thought on offense, we'd be able to sprinkle in some nice plays and maybe we'd get a chance to see some of these young quarterbacks do some fun things, but none of that has happened. And for as good as Dylan played in the first game, you didn't feel like there was a lot of follow through. And the danger of having a young quarterback who's afraid to make some big throws down the field and take some chances is that defenses are pretty smart and they're watching the film and they're getting the tendencies. And if you're not going to push the ball and you're only going to throw to guys that are wide open at short range, defenses are going to figure that out. And it's going to make it even more difficult. And what we thought was maybe a good, bright, young start in London to Dylan Gabriel's career is going to keep getting worse and worse until he realizes that, hey, we can throw the football down the field because we have to. We have to force the issue. We have to threaten a defense with some down the field throws because otherwise they're just going to keep creeping closer to the line of scrimmage. And now they're going to even start jumping some of the shorter stuff. And then now it's going to be more interceptions and more mistakes. And so I guess if that was one thing, then there's your one thing that gave me the greatest amount of frustration there over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell as that game went on that they were not even concerned at all. And here's the thing. When you run a lot of these, what we call shot plays, when you run those, you've got to read them top down. And if the vertical's open, you've got to throw it. And I think our process is so sped up that we are completely just going down and waiting and looking, just trying to get rid of the football, just trying to survive, I guess. But at some point, it's that balance, right, of being aggressive but not putting the ball in danger. But to make some of the plays, you watch quarterbacks around the league, and I know everybody, and certainly in this area, is talking about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield puts the ball in peril a lot.
Yeah.
But he's making plays. He's being aggressive and throwing into some tighter windows and certainly pushing the ball vertically. It's too hard, and I think we have too many limitations right now as a Cleveland Browns offense to try and run 10, 12 plays drives. It just isn't going to happen. So the only way you can run less than is you got to get some chunks, and that requires most likely throwing the football down the field.
It's great to not have any interceptions. It's great to not turn the football over when you're a young quarterback, but you have to be able to walk that fine line between not putting the ball in harm's way unnecessarily and taking chances, because being a quarterback is all about taking calculated risks.
Yep.
And
exactly.
When the moment is there, you got to let it rip. Otherwise, it becomes an impossible task to move the football down the field 3.5, 4 yards at a time in the NFL.
Yeah, it does. He's a rookie quarterback making his second start in Pittsburgh. So all of those things are part of it too. And I think that to me, guys, there's so many problems here offensively. But if you watch, and you mentioned Baker, if you watch the game last night and you see Goff and the way that they handle it, this is playing quarterback at the expert level. But the other thing is they have guys who, when they catch it, can take it to the house. Starts with catch, right? If you have a rookie quarterback, catch it if it hits you in the hands. I mean, yep. You got to do that. Like, that's basic stuff. So what I think is the other thing that's really troubling here is we're not really putting a rookie quarterback in a position to succeed either. And so bad habits are now becoming who he is, and maybe that's who he is a little bit anyway. He's a third-round pick. But there's nothing that we do that's scary for a defense right now, Hoff. And the one thing that I thought was Quinshon Judkins, but then we kind of didn't get the full Quinshon Judkins experience yesterday either.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't at least feed Judkins more. I mean, he had 12 carries in the game. He only had a 3-yard average. It was pretty obvious that Pittsburgh's defense was saying, all right, as long as this guy doesn't beat us, we're going to be okay and we're going to win this game. But when he's really your best weapon on offense and he's a rookie and he's a guy that you're trying to still incorporate in the offense and figure out what are the run schemes that he likes the most, what are the blocking schemes that the offensive line really likes with him in there, I still think you need to be able to find a way to get him the football because he's your most explosive weapon on offense. And the last thing you want is your quarterback throwing the ball 50 times. So I was pretty surprised that they didn't just feed him the ball more or even just give him an opportunity to get some shorter passes. Just put the ball in his hand. He's your best player. He had 0 receptions. He had 12 carries. He needs to touch the ball 20 times every game. I really think that that's the way it is. And understanding that he is your best asset on offense. He's the guy that's going to take the most pressure off your quarterback. And even if it means in some more unconventional ways, I think he needs to be a much bigger part of the game plan.
Yeah, and the one that just surprised me that I just still have not really been able to figure out is you get it down there. The Browns are, down. You're down 23-6. I mean, obviously you need a lot to go your way here. But you get first and goal after they call that pass interference on Jerry Jeudy. You get first and goal to Pittsburgh 3. Judkins doesn't even come on the field. Now, earlier in this very drive, when it was you got a 6-yard run from Judkins when you kind of lined up everybody. It was on a 4th and 2 at the Steelers 30. You brought in Huntington. You got big, and he ran for 6 yards, kind of into nothing, into a wall, and still got 6. And we start off at the 3. We go shotgun pass. Shotgun pass gets sacked for 11 yards. I don't understand that sequence. Can you maybe give us some insight? What could be the thinking there? Why you wouldn't want to just go up there and run it? Or were you as surprised as I was?
Yeah, I was surprised. And I think when you look at their red zone inefficiency, they were 0 for 3. And when you're kicking field goals with this offense, like that's an immediate loss. Like it's so hard for them to get down there and get into the red zone. And when you're in the red zone, all the space gets a lot tighter. Everything gets more compressed. And so I'm thinking, okay, run the ball. That's where you have to be the most effective running the football is in the red zone because your passing windows are way tighter. And it's just more difficult because defenses are even closer to the line of scrimmage because they don't have to defend the length of the field so they can disguise more. It's just a really difficult place for a rookie quarterback. The precision has to be so much higher. So leave Quinshon on the field, get him the football. And at this point, we're not going to make the playoffs. So it's more about, hey, let's see what these guys can do. Let's not try to trick anybody out of anything. Yeah, there comes a time and a place where you still need to keep the defense honest and be creative and get some nice trick plays in there. But I think within the context of saying that, you need number 10 on the field at all times when you're in the red zone. I just think that he's too much of a weapon. He's too important, especially when you do get into the red zone to try to punch the ball in there. He's a guy that you want to lean on. He's your workhorse. He's your best asset. Put him in the game. Give him the football. Now, you don't want to be completely predictable, but you still got to leave him in the game to give him the threat. And the defense is the most afraid of this dude. So even if you don't hand it to him, when he's on the field, at least it opens up some of the other options.
And to me, again, it was at a point in the game where, look, was a comeback likely? No, it wasn't. But this was a game in which it felt like, for a lot of it, the Steelers' level of physicality was above our level of physicality. That's not saying I'm not saying guys weren't playing hard for the Cleveland Browns. I'm just saying they were being a physical, violent team, I thought, throughout the game. And look at the list of injuries that we've got, and some of it was clean, some of it was on the teetering on maybe not necessarily being clean. Andrew Siciliano was losing his mind. He was going apoplectic at points during the game about the physicality. But I looked at that as a chance to make a statement as well. Like, you're not going to big brother us. We're going to line up, and we're going to just shove it down your stinking throats. And we're going to get out there, and we're going to show you that, yeah, you may have won this game, but we're going to match your physicality. In fact, we're going to take it to you right here. And I thought maybe that was a chance to not only – you want to get in the end zone. That's the goal, obviously, but to do it in a way that could be maybe galvanizing even going forward. Does that matter, or is that something that's made up by us when you guys in there, in the trenches are not even thinking about, hey, let's exert our will on them?
Yeah. So I think back to my first year under Eric Mangini, 2009. We started 1-11. We weren't a very good team. We had terrible receivers. We didn't have great quarterback play, but we had a good offensive line. We had an okay defense. And we just said, hey, look, we're going to create an identity this year. We're not making the playoffs, but it's about an identity that we're trying to create for this season, for these players, and then for the future. So we just said, we're going to be physical. We're going to run the football, and we may lose the game, but you know what? They're going to walk away from this game licking their wounds, and they're going to be in the ice tub, because what we can do and what we can control is how physical we are, how hard we hit those dudes, and we're going to make them say uncle by the end of the game, because we're going to run the ball right at them. We're going to beat them up all over the field, and we're going to play some good defense and hard defense on the other side. And eventually, at the end of the season, we went on a 4-game winning streak. Now, it was meaningless in the end, but it felt good for us, because we said when we were going through that losing at the beginning of the season, we need to create an identity. Our identity is going to be that we're more physical and we're tougher than you are. And by the end of the season, especially those teams that were maybe not in the playoff hunt and they were coming to Cleveland and it was cold and it was nasty and they didn't really feel like playing, we were going to win that game, not because we were a better team or we had better athletes, but we were just going to be more physical. And it gave you something to rally around. And I think that's really important when you have a season that's slipping away at 1-5 now. What is the thing that's going to get you excited to show up? It's certainly not chasing the playoffs at this point, but it's, hey, you know what? We're going to be a tough out. We're going to be physical. Teams are not going to want to see us. And that can give us some pride in who we are and the identity that we're going to try to create here for next season and for the year after and for the guys that are here that are young players. And so I think it's really important to have that thing, because if you don't have that thing, then you start losing effort. So pointing to physicality and toughness and how hard you're going to play and how physical you're going to play, I think is a really important rallying cry that I would really like to see them adopt moving forward in the season. And I think it starts a lot of times with the plays that you call and the things that you emphasize during the week of practice, and then the things that you emphasize on game day. This is what we want to be. This is who we are.
It was so interesting as you're asking Joe that question. I wrote down identity, because that's it. Like, what is the identity of this operation offensively? What should it be?
It had been Quinshon for a couple of weeks.
For sure. Yeah. That's the whole thing. If you think back to the conversations you and I had in the summer around this team when it was being built around Kenny Pickett, we kept saying we're going to try to win games 20-17, 17-10, 17-13. Like, we're not getting to 17 right now, but like that was what they were shooting for. I mean, we didn't add a ton of weapons in the offseason. We didn't this is kind of what it is this is what they were shooting for and obviously they were hoping they'd be more efficient. But this is what was in the brochure.
For sure. And the tough part about this, and Hoff, you know this, is when that is your quote unquote MO or your identity, and you kind of eschew the notion that we're going to try to outscore you, you have a very low margin for error, because there really is only one game script or game flow that you can win with.
Yep.
And so far, special teams have not been great, and here's another one in this week. It's Cam Thomas. Could have been a tough call, sure, but you got to make your own breaks, and we're not going to get benefit of the doubt because we haven't been good. It's like why Michael Jordan would get calls over somebody like a Del Curry, who wasn't bad, but he wasn't Michael Jordan.
No, right, yeah.
So you've got to make your own destiny, and the margin for error, special teams, that extends a drive that turns it into a touchdown. That's basically a turnover, because we were going to get the ball, and instead it extends it for Aaron Rodgers. He goes down, they get a touchdown, and it blows the game wide open. We don't have, right? I mean, heck, we don't have the ability to score 20 points, period, right now.
No.
I hope we do. You're going to need to. But our margin for error is just so small. So when you think about how do the Browns keep losing, and you say to yourself, it's going to be a special teams blunder of a variety of, it could be a punt return for a touchdown. It could be running the punter, extending a drive. It could be missed field goals in week one. It's going to be on offense, pre-snap penalties. So many pre-snap penalties.
Yep.
Drop passes. And from a quarterback perspective, when we actually do scheme something up and it's there and it's blocked up, we're not even throwing it down the field because I think we're so shell-shocked by everything else. And then you say, none of that is winning. So I'm looking for small victories. Number one, I'd like to be fun to watch. So, like, Jameis Winston was fun to watch.
Yep.
We didn't win a lot. He actually won 2 games, 2 of our 3 last year. But there was something fun to watch, and we need to find that. And if that's going to be, because there can be something beautiful about lining up our 11 guys, bringing Aiden Huntington in, bringing Luke Whippler into 3, and be like, we're going to run it 4 times in a row. You know it, we know it, everybody in the crowd knows it, and we're going to impose our will because at least we know we can do that. That's why I would have liked to have at least seen that, because we're not like we get down by 9 or 10. It feels like we're down 30.
Yeah.
And that's a tough way to play in this league. This is it. No matter what you say, then we went through all the numbers. We screamed weapons, 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 all up and down.
Yeah.
This is a scoring league. Like, you have got to, when all else goes wrong, you've got to be able to score. And you've got to be able to throw the football when other teams know you've got to throw the football. You want to win Super Bowls, you want to win divisions. That's the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have that.
No. But I suppose that will be something that, I guess, Hoff, the question to you is, when you guys did that in 2008 or 9 or whenever that was, your rookie year, how did you flip that? How did you say, did you guys as an offensive line put it on yourselves? Like, we're going to go, this is who we are. Like, how did you get that flipped?
Yeah, I think that it was 2009. It was my first year with Mangini, so it was my 3rd year in the NFL, but it was a collective among the offensive line, like, hey, this is where we're going to be. We may not win a lot of games, but you know what? We're going to hurt the other guys in the process. We're going to be physical, and we're going to be tough. We're going to run the ball right at you, and demanding that from the man calling the plays and the way that you scripted practice from the beginning of the week on the Monday, talking about, hey, all these pass plays are great and everything, but let's make sure that what we're focusing on during the week of practice is being physical, running the football, and then making sure that showed up in the script on Friday and Saturday when you went through the walkthrough and you went through your first 30 or first 15 plays. And it was just a matter of being accountable to each other, and also with the coaches being accountable to you, saying, you know what, I remember Brian Daboll was our offensive coordinator. In the beginning of his tenure, he loved to throw the ball, like all offensive coordinators. But he would always tell us, we want to be physical, we want to run the ball. And so we just kept reminding him, like, hey, you want to be physical, you want to be tough. That's who we want to be in Cleveland. Like, you can't tell us that and then have 9 out of the first 15 plays be called passes, right? Like, let's make sure that we're following through with saying who we want to be. And I think with this team, the emphasis needs to be, let's not beat ourselves. We want to be tough. We want to be physical. We want to run the ball. But penalties are unacceptable. Done. Period. That's it. No penalties, because that's something that we can control. No drops. That's something that we can control. And then from there, it's a mindset. It's an attitude that you have to have, that every play, I'm going to get the better of the guy across from me. And maybe I'm going to screw up the play. Maybe I'm not going to take the right footwork. But you know what? I'm going to do it in a physical, tough manner, because this is the identity that we're trying to create.
You mentioned the penalties. Okay, in your experience, what is the most effective way to do it? Are you yanking guys out of games? Are you saying you do this in practice? You're running. You're going to be inactive. We're fining you. What actually does it? Because let's be honest about it. We commit penalties every year.
That's who we are.
We've dropped the ball every year. We finally cleaned up the giveaways 2 games in a row. That's fantastic. That's welcoming. But we've been one of the worst turnover teams years in a row. So what's the most effective way to actually reach players? Because it feels like we're searching for that answer.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of making guys run, because I think that can sometimes be counterproductive. But I think what you need to do is you need to be annoying from a coaching standpoint, to the point where every single meeting you're bringing up the penalties, who created the penalties, calling them out in meetings, holding them accountable. And to the point where guys are sick of hearing about who had a penalty in practice. You're keeping track of that. You're making sure that that's the first thing you talk about in your meetings when you come back and you review the tape. You can't emphasize everything. That's one of the things that I took from Coach Pettin, Mike Pettin, when he was our head coach. He said, football is a game of a million things, but if you try to coach a million things to the players, they're going to get nothing out of it. You can only emphasize really one thing at a time, because that's the thing that they're going to hear the most. And so that's what I would do if I was the coach in that position. And I would start every meeting with a penalty report from the day before. If it's Monday, it's a penalty report from the game, and have those guys that created the penalties maybe stand up in front of their teammates and explain what happened and why they had a penalty, right? Because in the end, the accountability is always the greatest when it's your teammates, your coworkers, your friends that are the ones that are holding you accountable. And I don't know, I've never been on a team that did that. I just thought of that off the top of my head, but I'm like, you know what, that'd be a great way to do it. Like, hey, stand up in front of a jury of your peers and tell us what happened and why you're trying to kill this team.
Yeah,
I like it.
Why is running potentially counterproductive? Just because you could get somebody.
Well, because it feels like it's very high school. No, I don't think like it's something that would injure a guy or something. I just think it's way more efficient to have a guy stand up in front of his peers and embarrass them, to be totally honest. I think that if you make guys run, they're going to feel like it's like high school Harry. You know,
I remember the guy from the Giants. Who was the head coach of the Giants? It was the special teams coach of the Patriots.
Oh my gosh, I can see his face. Why can't I see?
It'll come anyway. When they came here
mustache?
for joint practices, and we kind of whooped up on him, and he made them all run, and you could it was palpable that they were like done with him.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. Like, if you're on a team that's winning, you can do anything. You can make guys run, and if they have penalties, and you can preach whatever you want, and guys are going to buy in. So it's much harder to get guys to buy in when you are losing, when you feel like you're overmatched in these games. And I think in those situations, if now guys are losing practice time because they're running, because of penalties, it can be something that is counterproductive because you're starting to lose the locker room a little bit. You're losing your influence over those guys, and it becomes less of a player-driven initiative. Whereas, like, if you've got your captains there and they're in the beginning of a meeting and they're having like, Joe Thomas, left tackle, why don't you stand up there? And this is coming from the other leaders, the other captains, and tell us why you jumped off sides in this situation. Like, that would be humiliating to me. And now it's going to be the front of my mind when I'm going through practice and when I'm going into the games, like, wow, this is really important. Like, I don't want to have to talk to the jury of my peers and admit my mistake and then explain to them why I lost the game. Like, that would be awful. Way worse than running. And I think if you just make them run,
you're you, though.
All right, screw this.
You're the Hoff.
I'm not listening to this dude anymore. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's running a high school program.
You're the Hoff, though, and you would get embarrassed to stand up because you had one penalty. But that's what makes you great. He
also holds himself accountable.
Yes, but I don't think
to his own standard.
I don't think there are 53 Hoffs in the average NFL locker room, and from a mentality standpoint.
I think you're right, but I think that's why you have to build that mentality, maybe, right? That maybe the mentality is built by making them stand up there and pleading their case to their peers why they feel like they should still be in the position they're in, even though they're creating penalties, which we know are leading directly to losses because, like you said, our margin of error, especially on offense, is enormously thin. So the things that we can control, that penalties, the drop passes, the missed assignments, like those are the things that you just have to reiterate over and over and over again and build the accountability within the guys. Like, hey, look, you're letting your teammates down when you don't make this the most important thing that you're thinking about going into a game.
Time for the Trench Report, brought to you by Big Fig, the mattress made for more, crafted in Cleveland, just like our Browns. Let's focus on one big important note. Our buddy Joel Bitonio, Hoff, he tied you. His 167th career start, so he will break the record Sunday. What does it mean to you to have him join you on that list and then on Sunday pass you?
Yeah, shout out to the great Joel Bitonio, man. I love that guy as a human, as a football player, as a Cleveland Brown, and it brings me great joy that he's up there moving up the list, getting closer to the top of the list for all-time starts in a Browns helmet. He deserves every bit of accolade and praise that he's had. I hope he continues to play and continues to make a case for himself as a Hall of Famer, because I definitely want to go and party at his Hall of Fame party because, one, he deserves it, and two, it would be a really fun party, and I would be able to enjoy it again in the way that I did.
I was going to say, yes, you did. The bar is high.
The Hoff had a good time? I didn't know this.
Yeah, the bar is high for Hoff enjoyment at a party.
Quite literally everybody there. It was like 16 candles For God's sakes, your Halloween or your Hall of Fame party. Everybody had a great time with that.
The best
thing,
time.
buddy. The best. On a serious note,
like Frank the Tank. Everybody knows
he
you had
was
a great time, Frank.
That's right. Hoff, what type of challenge is this now for Kevin? You got Miami coming in. How do you not lose? How do you keep everybody rowing in the same direction here? Because 1-5 is 1-5. Everybody can see it.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day because close with Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, and obviously they're in a similar situation. And I was like, if I ran into Luke trick-or-treating here in a couple of weeks, which our kids usually trick-or-treat together, I'm like, if we started talking ball, and he asked me like, hey, I know you've been on some losing teams. Maybe he would be kind about it. Maybe he'd be like, hey, look, you lost a lot of games. You were in a similar position. How did you guys get through this? How did you make yourself better? And I go back to like one of the things that I talk to my kids about. Like if your brain is ever feeling like you're disorganized and you're feeling anxious and stressed, like how do you get back to feeling calm where you can be productive and you can feel like you're moving in the right direction and everything's under control? And it's about focusing on one thing at a time. It's trying to, instead of focusing on everything at once and the big things and the stress and the anxiety of being 1-5 and where the season's headed, like not thinking about that, but thinking about an identity. Who are we? What do I want to do? And find little things that you can work towards each day and then each week. Instead of talking about, hey, we need to win this game and this is how we're going to do it. Think about like who we want to be. Who is the player and the team that I want to go out there on a Saturday or a Sunday, and I want the fans to say, this is what I'm seeing out there. And I think from the Browns standpoint, I think it's really important to say, we want to be the most physical team on any field that we play on. And that will be what they can focus on. We want to be the most physical. We want to be the most detailed team that makes the least amount of self-inflicted wounds. Like if you can just say that's who we're going to be, that's what we're going to focus on every single day, and we're going to create a game plan that's creative enough, but simple enough where we're not going to make any mistakes, because that's who we want to put on tape for the rest of the season. And so I think, like we talked about earlier, like we want to be a physical team. How are we going to do that? Well, it's how we practice. It's how we approach meetings. It's how we call our plays. It's how we rotate our personnel in different situations. And you know what? When we do get to the red zone, we're going to throw it a little bit, but you know what? Put it on the offensive line, right? Put it on those big guys up front. Put it on Quinshon. We're going to give them the football, and we're going to give them an opportunity to create a name for themselves within the NFL about, you know what? That Cleveland offensive line, that run game, they're tough. I don't know if they're going to rush for 100 yards every single week, but if I'm a defense, I don't want to see them because they're going to run through my face and out the backside. And I just think that that's like what you have to focus on. You have to focus on creating that identity every single day, in every meeting, and every time you walk on the field.
It's going to be a tough task. That's what he's got to do, though. He's got to do that going forward, and we'll see what happens this week. Hoff, always great to talk to you, my friend. Appreciate the Joe Thomas half hour of the program. Tell Luke to hang in there up there, and we'll do it again soon, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. I always feel just a little bit better after we have our Monday morning chats.
Hold me, Hoff.
Yeah, we all
give me a hug.
Embrace of the Hoff.
Bring it in.
There you go. That's the Joe Thomas half hour of the program, and that is Cleveland Browns Daily. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.